Hello, welcome to the Rich and Simple Living. My name's Maria, and if you're new here, I do vlogs on homeschooling, urban homesteading. I always say homesteading, but it's actually urban homesteading, and home life, a bit of all sorts really. So I thought today, because I've had lots of new subscribers, and I suppose you're mainly here for when I do the cooking with the air fryer, which I tend to do towards the end of the week, and hopefully we're going to be doing that on a Thursday. So I thought, well, if you come along and you want to watch anyway and see what else I do and sort of get to know us type of thing, I thought I'd just have a quick catch up with you about it all. And I'm going to talk about my homeschooling and the things we're up to really. So yeah, me and my husband, we homeschool our daughter. We've got a 14-year-old daughter, and we haven't always homeschooled her. She used to go to primary school, but when she was really small, before school years, I always felt like I wanted to homeschool her. I wanted to sort of, I suppose really a bit like keep her to yourself sort of thing and prolong the child years, that kind of thing. But at the same time, I did want to teach her things myself. I wanted her to learn, you know, from us sort of thing. I wanted to do the teaching. But at the same time, see, I've already got children, 5 other children. Well, we've got 5 other children. They're grown up. Sean was like a late comer, a surprise finale. And so the others have grown up and they've gone through school. They did all their school in primary and secondary. I better say that first. So, you know, we've lived in the same house and in the same area. So the school that Sean would go to would be the same school that they went to. So for primary school years though, I always sort of a nice feelings about them. When I was young, I liked primary school years, and the others, they seemed to enjoy primary school years, and it was good. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed like all the plays and, you know, all the things they did, and they interacted with you a lot, the teachers did, and you knew what they were doing. But you did do an awful lot of stuff at home as well, like reading, and, you know, they were encouraging you more and more to do things at home. Well, anyway, the reason Sean ended up going to school after we was thinking that, you know, I'd like to homeschool her, my granddaughter, who's the same age as Sean, she was going to a nursery school, and Sean then said she wanted to go with her to the nursery school. And now the nursery school is attached to the primary school. It's part of it. So you sort of go from one to the other. So I thought, well, if she wants to go, I'm going to let her go, because I'm not going to be one of these, no, you've got to do it the way I want to do it. If you want to go, you want to experience these things, I think it's important for them to go and do that. So I thought, yeah, you can go and try it and see if you like it. Well, she enjoyed it. I think we enjoyed the experience of it as well, and she enjoyed it. So she automatically then, when it came time to enrol in school, wanted to go to school, and so automatically, yeah, that's what we did. We sent her across to the school, and we applied for a place and got a place and sent her to primary school, and which she enjoyed. But as primary school wore on, we'd never forgotten about we'd like to have homeschooled her, because I always thought, I've lost my baby. So as time went on, then Sean was sort of saying, oh, well, you know, can I stay at home and learn at home? And why do I have to go to school? And she wasn't enjoying the experience so much. She was starting to get a bit bothered by it. And because of the maths, she was starting to lag behind a bit with the maths. So much so that by the time she got to, I'm not sure if it was year 3 or 4, she was really struggling. Then when we went for a parents' evening, they were saying, oh, she might have this dyscalculia or something. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's like a number blindness, the same as you get the word blindness, but this is the equivalent, the number blindness. And they're saying, we suspect that's what's wrong with her. And so like the SEND teacher, special educational needs teacher, said, we'll do tests on her. Never heard no more. I mentioned it a few times. Nothing, never heard no more about it. Then I think it was year 4, she had this like an assistant teacher. It wasn't a proper teacher, it was teaching assistant, that's what you say. And she bullied her, basically, Sean wasn't the only one who had this. Other children were not happy and got bad memories of this. She bullied her, and because she couldn't do her maths, she was sort of going, how thick are you? And banging her hands on the table. Sean was petrified of it. She hated it, really hated it. And then she sort of made her a spectacle when then Sean felt she was being bullied by others because she felt like a spectacle in class. And by the time she got to year 6, we nearly pulled her out actually in year 4, but we persevered a bit, and she had quite a nice year 5. She had teachers who understood a bit better. But by year 6 it all went downhill again, and the teacher there even banged his head into the wall. He said, you make me bang my head into a brick wall, to her. And so she just called herself stupid and thick and that, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I wanted to homeschool her in the first place. Lost all those years of doing things with her. They're forcing her into a mould that isn't really fit for anything, and making her upset, and we could have done it much differently. So I was a bit annoyed with myself then, because having let it go on like that when I shouldn't have allowed it to. But anyway, we decided Sean didn't want secondary school because it only goes downhill from there. So she decided that she didn't want to do it. I didn't want her to do it. So we just didn't apply for a place. We didn't bother applying for a place. The main centre wrote to us and said, oh, we've not received your application for any place yet for your child to apply for a school, should say. And I wrote back and said, no, that's because I'm going to homeschool her. She's going to be at the Richardson's Academy. But no, I said no, we'll homeschool her. So she's done the secondary years homeschooled. She's relaxed, she's happy. We followed a lot of the curriculum, not all of it, because there's things in it that I don't agree with, and things that a lot of people don't agree with, and things I know that have been talked about fetching back out of it. Also, people say the curriculum now needs updating because it's not been updated for years and it's so out of date, it's not fit for today's world. So I thought, well, we'll just do what we want to do. So maths is no problem. I stripped her right back to where she got lost. We've worked slowly on that. My main aim is that she can pay bills and she can, you know, go into a shop or buy things. And she knows what she's doing. Money management, that's the main thing for me, and that's what's important for her. Because they say when you home educate, you've got to have an education fit for their age. Well, you know, money management is the main thing when you're grown up. So I think, well, no other maths. She doesn't need to do all your Pythagoras and square roots and things like that, because they're not applicable to her and it wouldn't work. I think she just needs the basic core maths and money management. And time was another thing we did, because I mentioned it recently. Sean, they never, well, I don't know if they taught her or she couldn't grasp it, but she couldn't read an analogue clock. She could do digital, but not analogue. Now she can do both. We worked on that, and now she can do both, which I think was important. I mean, it's not so bad as long as you could tell time on one of them, but the thing is, I felt it was important she could do it on both, so that's what we did. So this is how we're going on with Sean now. So basically her week, how does her week look with a schedule? So today is Monday, my worst day of the week, probably most people's, but yeah, Monday, she does maths every day. So she does a bit of maths every day. We do reading every day. So she'll be done some of that. We have done some of that this morning. So she does reading and maths every day. She does some English, some form of English every day. Today it was story writing, because she's got a good imagination. She loves writing stories and poetry and things like that. So she got an exercise book and she writes a poem or a short story, anything like that. She'll do that on a Monday. So she's done that today. Now she was doing science, Key Stage 3 science, but that really wasn't working. That was like a maths. Basic science is fine, but when it starts, the Key Stage 3 goes into all kinds of things that isn't really for Sean, probably isn't for a lot of children. Some it will be, but a lot it won't be. But she wasn't getting that, didn't want that. So we're doing science now in the form of nature studies, nature around us, and everything like that, studying that. and animal studies as well. So we're swapping that into nature studies. But that's changing days. That's a different day now. So in place of the science today, she is doing her German. Anybody who's been following us a while knows she did that on Wednesday. So we've taken that from Wednesday and she's doing that today. And so she's doing all that today. She's working on all of that. Then it'll be lunchtime, and then she, after lunch, she always does something self-led. And Sian, she's not like an average teenage girl where she's watching pop bands and experimenting with makeup and things like that. Sian's, I would say, she's a very studious girl. She's a bookworm for one. She loves reading. A choice of book that she's reading at the moment for personal study is Chernobyl. She's reading all about the disaster of Chernobyl. Chernobyl, not sure which one, how you say it, but she's reading about that at the moment. She was reading about the rise and fall of Hitler before that. She has all kinds of books like that. Everest, she's been doing about Everest. She's just very studious. If there's something that takes her interest, she'll go, not just look into it, but she'll delve right into it, and then she'll want to do topics and things like that on it. So like on a Tuesday we do topic work. That for her English we do a topic work. So she'll pick something like that for a topic, but she'll have already done it as a self-led topic as well, and a memory for these facts and figures and how it all works and everything like that is brilliant. But for science and maths, especially maths, it just doesn't. I don't know. But because we've never had these tests for dyscalculia, you know, maybe that is what's wrong, and there's not, I can help with that, but it'll never be 100%, you know. But I don't feel the need to push her beyond where she wants to be, or it destroys everything that she's done so far. So yeah, so Tuesdays we do the topic work, and we do geography. She was following Key Stage 3 geography, but she's switched from that now, and she's doing like a self-led type of geography. She's doing a study of all the countries in the world. She knows every country in the world, and she can tell you all the capitals and a lot of the people who are running these countries and what the countries are about. So she's chosen to do not a topic, but a geography on countries. So that's what we do. We go into all the countries, you know, like the population, what the country's like, what it's good for, the weather conditions in the countries, what they produce, even, you know, if they've got famous landmarks, and is it like touristy and dangerous, you know. She's studying everything and what the land is like and everything like that. So she's going into each country and studying it, you know, in depth. So that's what she does for her geography. Can't think what else she does on Tuesday. Obviously maths and reading. I can't think what else she does. See, what we try to do is have a Wednesday, what we call like a free day on Wednesday. Wednesday's my shopping day. So I want to take her out, and I want her to get her more involved in, you know, when you're buying things, the cost of it, going through the checkouts, how much things cost, what money you've got, can you afford to buy what you're buying, always being wary of that, and, you know, sort of how much change you'll get back, and have you got enough money left to go to another shop maybe and get some other things. I wanted to get used to all of that, because that's something that's important later in life. Because Sian's always been the sort of child, as we've done everything, and she's never took a lot of notice of us in shops. So it's important now to get her doing all of that. So Wednesdays we do that, because then we do a shopping. Wednesdays also is big walk day, and do nature studies on a Wednesday. So we can go out into nature, take a walk, and we note things about what you see, what you hear, what you do, what the weather's like, you know, and maybe collect bits and pieces along the way. You know, anything really that comes to us that she can absorb. But yeah, we sort of do that on Wednesday. Wednesday's quite right. We do the reading still on a Wednesday, because we could do that over breakfast. But we don't do the maths, because we do that in the shops as we're going along. It's sort of real life maths then, you know. Thursdays, what do we do on the Thursdays? Obviously reading, and we do maths again on Thursday. Basic maths. Can't remember what else we're doing on Thursday now. Oh, another thing on Wednesday is photography as well. When we're out doing nature studies, Sian likes taking photographs, and we're compiling a portfolio of pictures for her for photography, because she took an interest in photography. So yeah, I can't think off my head what we do on a Thursday. I should have looked through the box. What we do on a Thursday. Well, Fridays, I know what she does on the Fridays. Friday, she's just started GCSE history. She loves history, really loves history. So she started doing that, and she's really enjoying that book so far. I showed it a couple of weeks ago what it looked like, and she's really liking it, really enjoying it. She's just started with the Normans on there, and the book takes you more in depth than the Key Stage 3 book, so she's really loving that because she's learning more about it. Obviously reading and maths is on a Friday. I can't think what English that she does on a Friday. Oh, I know, she does comprehension on a Friday. I try and download free sheets from places like Twinkle, and I'll Google for free worksheets and we'll download that, and we get some free worksheets, and she does that. We've got a Charles Dickens one to do this week. That's going to take a couple of weeks, that one is, because there's quite a lot of work on that one. So she does that on Friday for her English as well. But you know, my mind's gone blank. What's in the Thursday box? I can't think. I'll go away, look afterwards, and think, oh gosh, yeah, I remember now. Should have had them all lined up. But yeah, basically that's what she does in a week, and that's why we homeschool, is because Sian's more settled. She's learning a lot more, and I mean, people come to her when they're doing things in school and ask her, you know, about it, and she helps them with homework and things like that, because it's things that she's studied herself, and so as long as it's not maths. But yeah, so she's doing really well. She's doing really well with that. So that's what we do homeschool wise. I remember though, talking about homeschooling and going to school, I was saying about Sian not being so good at maths, but she was very good with English and reading. And now I did learn her to read before she went to school, and the way we learned her to read, people often wonder, how do they learn to read? How do you get your child to read? Or mine won't read and things like that. Well, there's no age when they would read, you know. Some are later developers and some are early developers, if you can call it development. You know, it's how their interests lie and when they suddenly spot that interest. Well, Sian was an early interester. She started picking up books. We've always bought books right from babies, even my grandchildren now. I had a 5-month-old one last Christmas and bought him a book, because I buy books right from, you know, when they're young, because you can read to them, and they always have books. Every year there's books, always buying books. So there's no age limit on when you get a book. But yeah, she started picking up her books and look at them. So we had blank books and we talked about the pictures each page. We looked at pictures and I'll say, what can you see happening? And she'll tell you what's happening. So let's make a story from what you can see happening. So she'll say the story. Then we started on word books that had a couple of words, and I would read it and I would point to the word, till in the end she was doing it. And yes, you could say it's memorised, but isn't that what it is? You remember the words, and that's how you remember to read, because you remember and recognise the words. Recognition is just from the memory, so you recognise it because you've remembered it. So yeah, that's how I taught her. She'd have like a couple of words, or 3 words, 4 words, and my brother had bought her this set of books that went right from no words right up to proper reading, and we worked our way through that. And before she was going to school, she could read books. I mean, not the biggest of books, obviously not fully, but she was reading basic books for her age and maybe a little bit above. So that's how I taught her to read. She was able to do that and write a name when she went to school. So that was no issue there. That was quite good. She could do that. Because they have all these phonics in schools now, and that really baffled her, because it was like, you say words how they're spelt, how you see them. Well, words don't work like that in the English language. It just doesn't work. Her name alone isn't like that. So that confused her. She was a bit confused by school doing that to her, because she almost went backwards because of it, because she was getting words, you know. So I know how to say those words. I can read those words, but they'll say, well, you've got to pronounce words how they sound, but then it works like this, and so I'm like, but I can read it. But then they had to take this phonics test. I think it was the end of the infants, but luckily she passed that one, no problem, because I think they had to do it again the year after those that didn't pass. But I thought that was a bit confusing, really, bringing this phonics in. It was really confusing. So that's a bit of a rundown. I probably bored you to death, because if you're only interested in cooking, you won't be interested in education unless you're just curious. But yeah, that's basically about homeschooling, why we homeschooled and how we homeschool, what we do, even though I can't remember what she does on a Thursday. I'll go away and I'll say, oh yeah, when I look in a minute. And urban homesteading. We've got a big garden. We grow as much as our own vegetables as we possibly can. The aim is to make our own food from it. And I might even be able to create some recipes from the garden to the air fryer, or the cooker. But yeah, I'd like to try and do some for the air fryer, because obviously I do quite a few for the cooker anyway. But yeah, that's the idea, to grow as much as we can and have a little bit of self-sufficiency to save money, really. Another thing that we're doing outside, if you're new and you don't know, is we're trying to set up a business from home. It's called Hoppetys Rabbit Grooming and Boarding. So it's like it says, we'll groom rabbits and we'll board rabbits. At the moment, we're doing the shed out for it. It's nearly done, but I don't want to start the business to the start of the new tax year anyway. So we've got a few more weeks yet to do all that. My husband's already self-employed, so I've got taxes to work on anyway at the minute, so I don't want to bog myself down too much. Oh, I can hear the wind out there howling. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing out there. My back garden, we've also got chickens, keep chickens and ducks for our own eggs and everything, so like my urban homestead and food. Patio area's all got to be sorted out because I want to grow some herbs on there along with flowers. My front garden, I've never showed that. Very rare I show that, because if I go out on the front, everyone's going to say, what's she doing? I feel a bit. So sometimes I'll film it through the window. But yeah, I've got fruit trees on the front, growing fruit trees on the front. At the moment, I've got well-established apples and pears, but I've planted some more apples and pears and some plums out there. Planted some blueberries, but I think the heat last year has killed them. So I'm going to get a couple more blueberry plants this year. Put them in pots, big pots, on the patio where I'm going to do some herbs and flowers in between, because we sit out there anyway. So it should smell nice in summer. So that's the idea of that. But I'll show you out and about. We'll do more things out there as well. And you'll see more of that. And there's things develop with homeschooling, things Sian does, we'll follow along with that. And so that's that really. And of course I'm trying to get the hang of this air fryer. I'm a bread maker, you can see him back there. That's brilliant, I love it. I've come across a couple more recipes, which I'll perhaps do some of them with you soon, show you what I'm doing. And also I need to look underneath if there's a hole, because I can't remember who it was who asked me now, do forgive me, but somebody had asked me about the hole underneath, and when you cut it, the hole's quite distinctive. So I think, do you know, I not even noticed. Now I'm curious about it, but I've not made no bread since, you've passed me the comment and I answered back. I've not made no more bread since, so I haven't forgotten. I am going to do that. But I've got this new recipe anyway, some fruity bread. Sounds really nice. So I thought, when I do it, and it's cool enough, I'm going to cut it in half and see if I can see my hole. I'm going to show it, the bottom of it, when I take it out, because I've not been showing the bottom. So yeah, I've not forgotten about that. I'm going to do that. And of course, yeah, if I want to do more things in there, because I think that's quite good, because we did cooking as well with Sian for homeschooling, but she didn't take to it too well, but she has been saying, oh, I might have a go in the air fryer. And I'm thinking, well, actually, it might be easier for her to do. And because she's a bit nervous of the cooker, maybe she'll feel better with that, because it's more like the microwave than, the cooker. So she might be more inclined to use that, feel a bit safer using it, So that's something that we might do together, a bit of homeschooling. So I do want to get used to using it more. And everybody who's interacted with me over the air fryer. I think it's fabulous. You're all giving me some fantastic tips and hints, and I think it's great. I feel like we're all doing it together and we can all read the comments, so therefore we're all getting the tips and hints and things like that each of you are passing on. So it's benefiting all of us who are reading it and watching it, not just myself, you know. It's brilliant because it feels like we're all doing it together. It's quite nice. You're not alone. It is nice. So thank you for all the wonderful tips. They're all brilliant. And for everyone commenting, please chat with me down below. I like a good chat, and as you can tell, I only come on for 5 minutes. I end up for ages, give my whole life story. But no, I do like a good chat. So yeah, please comment down below. You can chat about anything at all, any of the videos. Doesn't have to be this one. You can ask me about my homeschool. You can ask me how the urban garden's going. Hopefully we'll start following it soon, actually, because once a month I take part in a collaboration with a lady called Victoria, who's got a channel called Home Educating the Mad Lads, and she hosts it once a month from March till October. And we just basically go around the garden, what we're growing and things like that. So I always take part in it every year, and I think it's going ahead again this year. So that should be the end of this month now, we'll do that. So the end of every month you'll see me do collaboration, take part in that, and you'll see the garden and everything and what's happening out there. So I might drag a bit of Hoppetys in then and keep you up to date with it all that way. So yes, that's that. So I just thought today I'll just give you a bit of a briefing about my homeschooling, what goes on out there, what we're aiming to do with the Hoppetys, and also Thursdays we're going to do air frying on the Thursdays each week, and then any time I come on in between will be about anything, or I might just pop on with the bread maker and, you know, make something I found a recipe for. So yeah. And the rest of the time will be just plain old life and chatty me. And you can chat back to me then. But I ought to work out how to do a live. I don't know how to do them. I'm bound to do something wrong with it anyway and explode my camera or something. I remember once, I'm so accident prone. I joined this site. It was long before I got all these Facebooks. I weren't in all them. Well, they might have existed, but I weren't in them. And it was really early on when I first had a computer, donkeys years ago, and it was like a PC computer. And I used to chat to friends through this site, and they were saying something about, oh, try downloading some pictures and things like that. And I go, oh, I don't know how, I don't know what I'm doing. And so they taught me through, yeah, it'll be all right. Oh, no, I'll blow it up. And they go, don't be silly, how can you blow it up? So I downloaded these pictures and everything went off, and theirs went off too. And I'm sure it was totally coincidental, but it was just because I said, well, I'll blow it up if I try and get too technical. And that happened. Everybody went down. Well, I don't know about everybody's in the world probably, but me and my friends just went down, and I thought, don't know what I've done. I won't do that again. I'll give you a ring. We'll talk that way. Oh no, I'm not technical, so it's like my film, and it's all over the place, and I never cut out any of the bad bits. Very rare do I cut that, because I am who I am. You get what you see, you know. I'm not after a perfect channel where everything's so perfect. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Just true life. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update this week for anybody who's sort of wondered, you know, who we are, and maybe some of you new subscribers watch, you know, some of the other bits and pieces. I don't know. I quite often do. I'll subscribe to somebody for one thing, and then I take an interest in what else they do. Or sometimes I just follow for the things they do that I'm interested in, you know, but that's how it is, isn't it? So yeah, so this week, Sian, now it's Monday today. Sian's done a Monday work, and then she'll be doing some self-led work right now. And I still can't remember what's on the Thursdays. When I come back on Thursday to do the air fryer, I'll tell you what Sian's doing. I'm not sure what I'm doing in the air fryer this week. I've got a little idea, but I may change it, but we'll see. And I'll let you know what Sian's doing that day as well. So yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. Just sort of a bit of getting to know you type video for people who are new, and bit of an update as to, you know, what we do with Sian homeschooling, how it all works and everything. And that's it really. I shall see you now on Thursday with the air fryer, and we'll see what we can do on Thursday. So until then, take care of yourselves. Bye.